Alright, so here's a video of the shed. It's September 9th, 2012. And we have about maybe half of the light clay wood chips done. You can see up here we had one giant pallet that just fit on the front. And there's the wood chips in the wall. We're still going to fill in the gap, but we put these 2x6s on there because then we can attach the 2x6 to each of the posts in the pallet, and then we can attach those into the studs in the wall all the way across, and that ties the pallet in to the wall, the other pallets next to it. So there's a little dinosaur, but there's a second row of pallets sitting on top of there. It's got a 2x6, and that keeps it nice and snug. Attaches it to the wall next to it. That 2x6 hiding in there goes across, and that ties the bottom pallet to the pallet back here behind it. You can see there's some chunks of foam in there. At first we started just throwing the foam in between the wood chips. So we take a handful of wood chips and then a handful of foam and then a handful of wood chips, and eventually we decided that we could just run the foam in with the mix. And so that's what this stuff has in it. It's got foam that's been mixed in, and that seems to work a whole lot better. They attach onto the wood chips a whole lot better. And then we'll come back in and fill kind of this stuff up here in a little bit. It's kind of hard to shove the wood chips all the way down into the pallets, so you get a few gaps in there that we'll have to come back. Anything underneath a ledge like that doesn't quite fill in right, so we have to fill that in later before we plaster. So we're 2 pallets high on most of it. On this side we just got started. We've got about 1 pallet done, filling it in with the wood chips. Still have several pallets to go, about 3.5 pallets worth. This is the platform I built for kind of a scaffolding. It's about 12 feet long, 30 inches wide, and about 4 feet tall, and it's really heavy to move. So climbing up here, you can kind of see how we've been just dumping it in with the buckets. There's a bucket. You dump it in, you use a stick to ramrod it down there, and it's kind of hard on this little overhang to get your stick in there, but you see it way down in there. That stuff didn't get packed down, so hopefully it all filled in because it's drying now. The electrical's right in the wall, and so yeah, you come up here a little bit, there's a loft. You can see a window there, and there'll be another window over there in the loft. Kind of right in the middle of that pallet. Most of the loft is just stick frame. We did get a few pallets up in there, but it's just traditional stick frame. It's got these huge 2x12 joists that we pulled out of a house, an old house that was getting torn down. They weren't quite long enough, so I had to put these extenders out on them. But all this wood, all this lumber, the pallets, the lumber, everything is all salvaged from dumpster diving or pulled out of that house, except for some of the treated lumber down at the bottom. The electrical is all salvaged. So all of this so far is free. Even this strapping was all free. Gonna jump down here, take you inside. Halfway finished porch step. Halfway finished rocket heater. I wasn't getting the draw that I needed. I apparently wasn't following the right plan, so we ordered the book and I dismantled it. I'm going to have to put it all back together. It's kind of a mess right now. There's the riser that's insulated, and that goes inside. And then this is the barrel that we've got that's going to sit right up on top. And I had to get a new top put on there. It's a nice solid top. We'll be able to cook on that. So with the window here, the pallets didn't quite fit, so I had a gap within the pallets, so that's just framed in. And so we got 2 windows in here, and up there above the door is going to be a little stained glass window that I've made. So right now it's just a dirt floor. Well, it's a road base. We've tamped it down. We've been walking all over it, so it's kind of loosened up a bit. We got 1 layer more to do. We just got remnants of this rocket stove all over the place. It's kind of a mess. Let's see. Take you up in the loft to show you from this side. Kind of a steep ladder here. So the loft on this end is about 4 feet tall. A little bit more than 4 feet. It's about 4 feet 6 inches or so. And then on this side it's about 2 feet 6 inches. And we're just going to leave this part open. I still have to put some bracing. It goes between the loft and the wall right here to kind of support the wall at that joint right there. And then, but over here is where we'll have a little bit of kitchen cabinet type stuff right along there. So there's the loft again. There's kind of a view of the yard, big pallet mess over there. Neighbors' yards. Climbing back down the ladder. So we'll have a little sink right there. We'll store a water container up there and just gravity feed into a bucket. It'll be in a sink. We've got countertops, some cabinets that are going to go in here, and I'll probably build some wall cabinets that'll go up in there. And then a ladder for the loft goes right up there next to the rocket heater. That rocket heater will have a bench. It'll sit right on top of that, and we'll have a nice granite countertops in there, and that'll make a nice smooth bench top. Plaster sides. It just looks like a big glob right now, a hard glob. And then we'll have our butterfly table will kind of sit over here next to the couch, and that'll pop out right where that sunspot is. We'll be able to eat dinner right there. And then we'll have chairs on the north side here and the bench on the south side. So the people that sit on the south side will sit on the bench, and we'll have folding chairs over here. And then the computer hutch goes in that corner right there. And up there's a can light and another can light. Those are actual cans that we've modified, and we're going to put the light fixture, just a little ceramic light fixture in there, and plaster over those when we plaster the walls, so they'll be built into the wall. The light shines up. Then we've got a couple light fixtures that go there and there, and those are just regular, some lights that we salvaged from the old school cafeteria that's getting remodeled. There's the yard, the street up there. There's the shed that we salvaged and brought over with a forklift. That was fun. I got a lot of junk stored over there that I've been salvaging. And here's our pallet mess. This is all the pallets that I've pulled out and of the dumpsters, and been kind of picky on which pallets to use here. Believe it or not, well, I was picky. So that's a bathroom stall divider that they threw away when they were building the new dorms, as well as that little wooden ladder. Threw that away too. I'll probably use that bathroom stall for the roof of my new chicken coop. These pallets, these big long pallets, are all oak. It's a decent oak, and they brought all the beds for the dorms. 400 beds came on those things, and they use these slats as spacers. And so I've used some of the 2x4 oak right here, pulled some apart, and then some of these big 3x4s that are oak, and I've used some of those for the construction. That scaffolding I built is made out of those 3x4s, and that's been kind of nice to have that lumber. I'm going to have to do some fun projects with this stuff. That's the hole we've been getting all of our clay from. It's really hard dirt here. It's pretty much all clay, so it's great. I mean, we do have a few rocks we pull out here. We were screening it all, but for this light clay wood chip stuff, we decided it doesn't need to be screened. So when we do the plaster on the walls, we'll have to screen it, but it takes a lot of time to screen that stuff. So the light clay, we're not going to screen. Did put the metal roof on up there. You can hardly see the ridge line. That's the color of roof that we'll put on the main house. So this is a truckload of sand. That sand was $10 for a whole truckload. A bunch of that's already in the cob and the rocket heater. That's what's left of the wood chip pile. That wood chip pile was huge. It was about twice the size of that sand pile. And now it's all up in the wall. We're probably going to need a full other load to finish up. So that's it. That's kind of the tour of the yard and everything that we've done so far.